Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for another kind of chilled out Sunday session, and happy Easter, whether you celebrate in a religious sense or whether you're just enjoying a long weekend. I hope it's going well. All right, so the last couple of Sundays I've been busy gel printing, and today I'm going to have a look through those gel prints and my brayer off sheets, and I'm going to sort them out and see which ones need a little bit more. So this is where you kind of take those gel prints that perhaps didn't come out quite as well or as inspirational as you hoped, and I'm going to show you how to add some more layers and things on to make them interesting and usable. All right, you will also see, so that's the gel prints I've done over the last couple of weeks. These, as you will see, are my brayer off sheets, and I've just been using some big book pages here as my brayer off sheets, but we will see what we can do with these to turn them into something usable and interesting. I've also got a pile of labels. These are label sheets, and again you'll see I've been using these as my brayer off sheets. And if I show you, there we go, that's the size of the labels. So we're going to be treating them in just about the same way as the gel prints, and making a stash of nice, usable, easy peel labels. This one, as you can see, I'd obviously got some paint and a stencil there, and so some of these, when you peel them up, you know, they look great already. That's what we're sort of aiming for. Things like that, you can peel it off, stick it on a tag or a bookmark, whatever you're decorating, a journaling card, add things to it. All right, now let's just put that back like that. Okay, I'm going to start, and I'm going to have a really quick sort through these. Oh, before I do, I wanted to show you a couple. I've got another bit somewhere, hold on. Excuse me, reaching across here. Did I use all of it? I might have used all of it. Okay, I won't look for that too long. Right, last week I pulled, let me find it. It might have been last week or the week before. It must have been last week actually. I was playing with different fabrics and textures, and it was the other one of these that I pulled with string. Here it is. And this was sort of a pull I did to then take the string off and get the pattern. But I thought this was really quite cool, where you could see the bits of book page through. And so after I'd recorded last week, I did a couple more just to see how they came out. So this is just popping a mask down on the gel plate, and then pulling, and that was using a stencil, and I quite like those. So those ones you haven't seen. All right, so I'm going to have a quick sort through, and I'm going to make a pile of ones that potentially we can add on to and do some more to, and ones that are okay. Now, I mean, I think that this is okay. There's quite a lot of detail on there. The only thing I might do when I use that is to add something perhaps with a gold gel pen, but that would be kind of dependent on what I was using it for. So that one's okay. I'm going to put that to the side. I love this one, and I think this is okay as well. When you turn this one in the light, you see that metallic green underneath. Now, those for me are at a stage where I could use them as a journal cover, or as the base for a tag, or as the base for a book page, you know, whatever. All right, so let's put that one over there as well. Oh, that was a bit of a disaster, that one, wasn't it? Now this is interesting, I like it, but I want to add some more to it. Now I've got two of these. This one I think I'm going to leave as is, because again I could see that being quite interesting to use as it is. This one I'm going to add on to. So I'm just going to go through making those decisions. Okay, so this is my pile I'm going to work on. I actually ended up with a third pile, and these, I think, there's just a few there. I think those will probably just get cut up as collage fodder. Or this one, and I pulled this one off camera again last week. I was trying to improve on this, where my paint, I discovered afterwards it was my paint. And so I quite like this. Actually, I'm going to put this in the as is pile, because I could see if you cut that, I could see that being quite a cute, you know, sort of basis for a tag or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on. So these will probably just get cut up as collage stuff. I may cut that one and see what we can do with that today, because you'll be surprised. You take sort of quite an uninspiring base like that, and we can do different things with it. All right, so we've got those, we've got some brayer offshoots, and we've got some labels. So let's make a start. Oh, all right, now the next thing I've done is to have a quick and rough sort through and think about, as a starting point, does this need something dark or light on it next? So I've got 2 piles there, and I've got a couple of gel plates. I've got my 8x10 and my little 5x7. Now my 5x7 is very much going to be a palette. And I've got a pile of stencils, because when I'm doing this, the first thing I do is to add some stenciling. Right, now I'm going to just try and move my camera so that I've got a little bit more viewing area for you, and then we'll make a start. You can see a little bit more of my mess here. And this month has been really, really busy at work, and it really has been a bit hectic, and I haven't had a lot of time even to get up into my craft room here. So now our business is just starting to slow down a little bit as we're coming into autumn. And one of the things I want to do this week, sorry, I'm looking for something. One of the things I want to do this week is to get up here and have a jolly good clear up. Now, I was looking for this. I've talked about these Montmartre paints before, and I know a couple of you have commented that you use them too. This is a lovely, I call it sort of a buttercream colour. It's called Naples Yellow, and I'm going to start off with that one. Now, what stencil should we start with? I've pulled out a whole load of stencils here, which I'll show you briefly, and these are all more kind of backgroundy type stencils. In fact, we'll start with this one. I love this one. It's a real sort of antique-y print, and all I'm going to do is put a little bit of paint on my gel plate, and as I say, use that as my palette, and I'm going to roll a layer of paint through my stencil here. So I hope you're having a lovely weekend, long weekend, and the weather here is actually lovely. It is definitely autumn here now. The weather's sort of cooled down a bit, and but actually it's dried up. We've had a really, really wet summer, but it's beautiful. And as you can probably see this morning, the light is coming in and it's lovely. Right. Now, one of the things you can do with your stencil when you pull it off like that is to turn it over wet side down and push it onto your paper. Now, sometimes I find you get a print, sometimes you don't. It's just pot luck. There you go, that one's actually come out quite nicely. So what we're aiming to do today is just to build up layers of interest. Now, what you could do is to pop a hole, you know, if I chose something like that, or this one, you could pop that down and pick the whole lot up. And I'm actually just going to do that, but I'm just pressing really lightly. I'm not pushing it all the way down. There we go, and I've just picked that up. Now, so I'm just popping these to dry as I'm doing them. Just moved my stencil. The other thing you can do is just to choose bits to pick up. And because you've already lifted some of that paint off, you're not going to get such a distinct print. Now again, when you're looking at this going, well, Jen, that's really still a bit of a mess. Yeah, that's okay. What we're doing is building up the layers, don't forget. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for interest. And it's almost like building up texture, if that doesn't sound too odd. Now, I have shown you this technique in a video before. And I've said then, and I'll say it again, I take no credit for this. These techniques come from Kerry the Crafter, or Kerry Griffiths, and I'll link his channel below. He does some amazing stuff with gel prints, and I find his work really inspiring. So these techniques come from him. Right, there you go. So as you saw, I've just sprayed a little bit of water on there, cleaned it up. I'm going to continue working with that lovely creamy colour at the moment, because that's what I've got on my plate, and I'm going to choose a different stencil. Now, when I did these, I said they came out a bit, they sort of look quite masculine. And so I'm going to choose this stencil, which has just some little crosses on. I don't know what that is. Let's get rid of that. Now that one I don't particularly want on any of the gel prints that I've got, so I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper and take the worst of the paint off. Excuse my arms. There we go. Now these stencils are being dropped into a little tray of water, just so that they don't dry up too much. So I'm going to go right the way across with that one. There we go. I don't know, I'm going to get too much more off there. There we go. Right. I'm just going to carry on in that vein, and I'm going to start building up some layers on all of these prints. Once I've done, and I'll speed up the video for you, but once I've done some of that, I'll come back and talk about what I'm going to do next. All right, guys, I've worked my way through quite a pile here, just building up different layers, different colours, different stencils. And you'll see, you know, you can change pieces quite radically. Now, I'm going to just do a very quick flip through of some of these, and then I'll take you on to the next step. And as I say, some of these are labels. Some are just bits of book page that have been used as a brayer off sheet. All right, so you can see we've started to build up all these layers. Now, I'm going to pull that one out because that's the one I'm going to start on next, and that one maybe. So you can see some I've done more, some I haven't done too much at all. This one, all I've done was added those silver circles on there. And you'll see what we're going to do next. Some, you know, again, it's like anything, some come out better than others. That's what I might add on to. Some I've just used to pull the last bit of paint off the plate. Now, some like this, and I think I've showed you this little trick before. If you imagine a strip cut like that, it looks completely different from when you see the whole thing, doesn't it? So imagine those strips cut, or pieces, little squares. And that one in the light has got lots of metallics behind it too. So this, something like this, I probably wouldn't do a lot more to now. It might be that as I start using pieces, there might be a strip here that I pop back in the box, and next time I'm doing this, it gets something added to it. But something like that, right now, probably wouldn't add a heap more to it. Let's have a look at these last few. This one is a label one, and the trick with the labels, again, you're seeing the whole thing, which is not what you're going to see. What you're going to see, oh, they do get a little bit stuck sometimes, is a piece like this. And again, that looks completely different. So that's a sheet that I probably won't add too much more onto at the moment. So we'll put that to one side. Okay, so the thing I do next, and you'll see I've got a little bit of black paint on my thing here, and I'm going to use my bigger gel plate to hold my pieces of paper. I've got a bit of black here that I was using, and I'd like to just use this up. I don't know whether there's enough on there. Now, what I'm going to do now is to come in. Oh, it's quite a warm day and it's dried up a little bit while I'm talking to you. I'm going to add just a little bit more on there. In fact, this tube of paint is nearly at its end. Oh, yuck. I'm going to come in now with my mark making tools, and you saw me use these. Bigger one here. Okay, put that one to one side for a minute. I'm just looking. There we are. I knew it was there somewhere. we go. And again, we're not doing a lot on each one, just building up more of those layers. I do love this one. This is labels, and I can actually see where the labels are on this one, so I'm trying to kind of go across a couple of labels so that when it comes off, again, you've just got a piece like that. Go. Right, let's switch it up a bit. Do a couple more with this mark making tool on here, and you'll see this one I've done half with numbers and half we're doing something different with. Bring in a little bit of black on this one and see what happens. Running out of drying room here. Now I'm just having a quick flick through. Do I want any more black on them? Try a bit of black on this one, but I'm going to look for a different mark making tool. And I'm going to come in, this is my draw liner. Now let's see that black, it's quite warm today. As I said this morning, it's starting to warm up actually, even as I've been doing the video, it's starting to warm up. And the black is, the paint's drying quite quickly now. Alright, let's have a quick flick through, see if there's anything else we want black on. A little bit on here. And again, I'm just going to use that same that black's really dried up now. Yeah, we're just getting blobs. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that and we'll come back and show and do some. Right, now pulled in quite a dark blue here. I think it's called Prussian Blue Hue, and I want to see what this looks like. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Might bring in a little bit on this one. And as you can see, I'm just using very ordinary bubble wrap. And again, when we're looking at brayer off sheets like this, don't forget you're not going to see all of this around the edge. You're not going to see all this noise. And before we finish up, I'll show you what I mean. Right, what else do we want to use for the blue bubble wrap on? This has got some similar colours, hasn't it? Now, of course, the other way of adding your layers of interest like this is with a stencil and a sponge. And this is quite good if you want a little bit more control. So here I've got, hopefully you can see that, it's actually the bottom of a mushroom box. It's got some lovely holes in, but I don't want too much. I just want a little bit, a hint of colour and interest like that. And so this in some ways is a more, you can control what you're doing more. Ooh, she says, getting it all down the side there. Alright, so as you can see, I'm just gradually building up layers, and I'm going to carry on doing that using various mark making tools, and then with the ones that I've already stenciled, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at the results. Alright guys, do you know what? I could carry on doing this all day. I get into a little meditative state with doing this, and you know, maybe put a podcast on, sit here and listen, and I've suddenly realised that if I don't stop now, you're not going to see this video as a Sunday session, so it's going to be on a Wednesday. Anyway, I'll show you what I've done. Some of these I may come back and add more to, some are finished. But you know what guys, it's one of those things where sometimes you can just keep adding layer and layer and layer, and sometimes I find for me it's actually better to stop and take a step back and then come back when they're all dry and have a look and see whether they do in fact need any more or not. So I'm just going to have a quick flip through. As I say, some of these are finished, some are not, and when you're doing this I would encourage you, use your viewfinders, use bits of paper to show yourself what these will look like. Turn that over and show you what this would look like if you cut it up. Because people say to me, okay, what do you do with them? Well, you can use them as a background, as a page journal. You can use them to cover tags, belly bands, journal cards. You can turn them into envelopes, or you can make pockets from them. Really, you're only limited by your imagination. And one of the things I have done in the past to use up the scraps left over from gel printing is to actually grab an old child's board book and cover it with scraps of gel prints. And I'll link the video below so that you can see that one, because that's really fun. I'd like to do some more of those. This one I love. I don't know what it is. I like that one. And if you remember, this was the kind of onion net that we started off with on the gel print. And then we've got the silver circular stencil, and then we've got this turquoise metallic circles on top. And this one I particularly like how this has come out, and I could see lots of uses for this. And you know guys, this was a brayer off sheet on an old book page. So that just shows what you can do. That one potentially needs some more added to it, I think. Maybe something a little bit lighter to lift it. And again, you know, once you see these without the edges, without the book page, look at that, they look completely different. Love this one as well. Multiple layers on there. And this one, that's got to be another favourite. And that was just a brayer off sheet. Probably needs something more. You know, at the end of the day with things like this, you know, once you've gone through this process, if they're still not speaking to you, tear them up and use them as collage fodder. Awesome for that. Love this one. This has got to be another favourite of the day. And again, book page, brayer off sheet, stencil and other layers on there. Two different ends to that one. Now that one probably needs a little bit more. Again, needs something lighter or maybe metallic added on. Now these are my labels, and I wanted to show you something really quickly with these. As we go through them, I'm just going to peel off a label at random. This is one of those bookmarks I was using the other day. It's an advertising bookmark. Oh, I haven't quite got that up to the top, but that's okay. What I'm doing is just showing you what can be achieved with these labels. Love this one. And like I say, I'm literally just taking a random label from each one. I'm just looking at colours here. We'll go this one next. These labels are actually really sticky. Some that I've used in the past, I feel like I have to put glue on. These are super sticky. I'll pull that one because that one I picked up earlier to show you. Last but not least, there you go. You can cover the back really easy. You've got the basis for a belly band, a side tuck, whatever you want to use it for. You can add ephemera on, you can cut it into pieces, you know, entirely up to you. All right, so there we go guys. I hope that's been fun to watch. I do hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and I will be back hopefully. Like this week just gone has been just manic, but we are quietening down just slightly now with our business, so I am hoping to be back this week. And I have another mass make project that I want to share with you, so hopefully that'll be around Tuesday or Wednesday. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Ka kite anō.